Welcome to the Main Event Fightcast. I'm your host, Vega, and this is my co-host, Coach Mike. And before we get the show started, I want to touch base on something I said last episode, just real quick to clarify and just get the record straight. You feel me?
I'm mad interested in knowing what this is going to be.
So last episode, I made reference to the fact that Jon Jones is not the ideal candidate for what we would want as like the representative of MMA, right?
Yeah, you did.
With that said, I want to address the current issue he's facing, right? This case of like being aggressive towards the drug tester, whatever the situation is, right? Just because Jon Jones isn't the ideal model for MMA does not mean he deserves this type of treatment. You know what I'm saying? This is craziness, right? So first in the matter, he addressed it as soon as it happened, right? It was like, oh, check this out. Was having a party. Maybe I was a little upset because they was interrupting the vibe. I'm paraphrasing what he actually said. But, you know, at the end of the day, situation was taken care of. We walked out hugging, even dropped the video for facts, right? So boom, everything is pretty much good, right? The female herself is not the one suing. This is a actual prosecutor civil case type of situation. So for me, it sounds like somebody's trying to take advantage of the fact that Jon Jones has a bad history. And I don't think that that's fair to him. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep judging this man based on his past actions. That's not fair to him, right? He's a whole different person now. And so I just wanted to make that very clear. I think Jon Jones is completely in the right to plead not guilty. I think this whole case is trash. We've all been in a situation where cops have gone a little, or not just cops, but like the system has gone a little bit further than it needs to in a case that really didn't have to go that far. And I think this is one of those situations. So I am rooting for Jon Jones 100% in this case. And I think it's kind of nuts, everything that they're putting him through.
I gotta read up on that because I'm not aware of much of nothing with that. I just knew that he was accused of it. He's pleading not guilty. We'll see.
Like there's just so many. There's so many
happen.
early facts that came out that it's just like, well, why is this even still a conversation?
I can't lie. I thought Vega was about to bomb on Jones about something.
Nah, man. Right is right, wrong is wrong, bro.
All these lists are coming out. All these lists are coming out. I thought you was about to bomb on him for being
definitely
number one.
We're talking about of the generation, of the century, right? Jon Jones for sure, number one, right? With or without steroids, like I'm of the belief that at the end of the day, steroids is one part of the equation, but it doesn't change the fact that he was outperforming. You know what I'm saying? Even if you want to give that to the cardio side of the steroids, right? It's like, okay, he had more cardio. He was still a better athlete and better martial artist than you in a way where you could not find a way around his technique. So even if I strip away the steroids, I still look at the situation and go, I don't know, man, technique-wise, he still would have got you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I gave it up to DC when he was very open about like, yo, nah. The no contest that they have against Jon Jones with me against Jon Jones, that's a win for Jon Jones, bro. He beat me, right? Like at the end of the day, they don't consider that illegal anymore, and it wasn't really that crazy of a substance. Like he was the better man.
You'd be more worried about the coke that he's taking than.
That's a different conversation. You know what I'm saying? If the prosecutor's going after him for coke, well, John, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do there for you. Not much we can say there.
That might be a performance enhancer in itself.
Yeah, no.
In there.
Of course it is. We've all seen crackheads, bro. Them dudes is magic, bro. Listen, the other day this is going to go on a crazy tangent, but the other day I was walking, buddy, and yo, I seen a crackhead get mad at his dealer, bro. And in that moment, I realized how dangerous crackheads really were. Because the dealer type panicked. Not to say the dealer like completely melted, but like the dealer had that look in his eye like, this actually might get real, bro. Like, and all the dealer was saying was, I don't have it on me right now, I gotta go get it. And the crackhead wasn't having that, bro. He was like, listen. I was not in the sunlight all day asking for dollars for you to tell me you don't got it right now, okay? I'm here. Yo, the dialogue ended with the crackhead saying, yeah, I'm gonna be right down here. That was it. That was all the instruction, bro.
That was funny. You was
So that was
watching
a
the whole
moment.
movie.
That shit was great. That shit was great. All right, anyway, let's get into the fights, bro. Because this past fight card, as I said, right, like I feel like, and maybe it's just maybe there's a weird bias in me myself, but I feel like anytime I'm not 100% sure which fights to be excited for, they all end up exciting. Like overall, I thought the card was a ton of fun to watch. Muhammad Usman versus Thomas Peterson. We'll start there, right? I don't think that fight was fun to watch
at all.
I think it was more fun than I expected it to be. Like it was way more watchable than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a sloppy, gross wrestling fest on the side of Thomas Peterson because I genuinely thought Muhammad Usman was gonna take advantage of the fact he had way more power. Like that fight was frustrating to watch because the uppercut was open the whole fight, bro. Oh my God, I was expecting Usman to blow this man's head off, bro. At some point, I thought that shit was gonna let go.
All I got from that fight was, bet against Usman.
Gotta bet against Usman.
You gotta bet against Usman.
Every time. I'm sorry. Right now, Usman is 100% fake.
He'll probably get a trash can next and get a.
I can't even think of who though. Like with all respect to Thomas Peterson, I feel like this was that. This was supposed to be the fight where it was like.
Not
and
really.
if you look at the situation,
not really, because I knew I knew Peterson was going to be in his face and pressure him and.
But for me, that's the test, bro. That's the test for you to be in heavyweight at this point.
Muhammad don't got that dog.
If you look at the heavyweight fighters right now, none of them are terrifyingly scary with power, right? They all have knockout power, but none of them are terrifyingly scary, right? So now, where the heavyweight class kind of sits, especially if you're in that bottom area, the real test is, can you stay in the fight? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna let these big niggas bully you? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's where the test is, and I feel like that's what this test was, is, we're going to give you Thomas Peterson, someone that we know you're stronger than. We know that you could knock and we saw a couple moments where a couple of them strikes landed, and Thomas, he reconsidered the game plan for just a split second, and then he got right back to it. You know what I mean? If Usman would have applied the pressure, returned pressure, got into action, let more shots fly, I think he would have got it done.
I'm good off my
power-wise.
I'm good off Muhammad
Usman. Usman, unfortunately, he has not lived up to the hype. And granted, the ladder was. The line was very high. The bar was very high for him to attain to being Kamaru Usman's brother.
I mean, I guess the first time I watched him fight, then it was like.
Then from there, once you lower the line, you're like, he should be this good.
He's not as good as his brother. But
even then, he's not proving to even be this good.
You never feel like he has the potential to be a champion.
No, definitely not. I honestly don't even see top 10 contender. No way.
You never feel that way, so it's like.
There's no way.
He's hanging around because of his brother, if anything, but.
Yeah, definitely. They're not going to cut him. I mean, there's legacy there. He can still turn it around. He can still turn it around. How many fights is he in the UFC? Like 4?
They might cut him.
Nah, I don't think they'll cut him.
Well, he's not very active, one, so that's why it hasn't been so many losses in a row, but he's going to end up wheeling off about 2-3 more losses.
Yeah, but right now there's not a lot of heavyweights available to add to the roster to cut him. You know what I'm saying? If there was in a space where like you could look at there was a lot of chatter around people in other leagues where they could be like, all right, we could go there and then scrape some people up. But even in LFA, there's nobody that you could really say has the buzz around them right now where it's like, all right, let's give this man a test in the UFC. He'll be worth bringing for the money side of it. Because that's ultimately what the heavyweights come in for. No matter who they are, they're coming to bring some sort of market.
Is that why Dana White is so upset about what Waldo did?
Oh, listen. Don't get me started on my conspiracy theories because you know that's what I am. But yes.
I just threw it in there.
I love Waldo to death, bro. But Waldo needed to get a knockout because he needed to be able to definitively win the fight and pull the fans from Rebellis, okay, into his stratosphere. All right.
He needed to get the job.
He needed to get it finished. He needed to do it in impressive fashion to draw the audience.
No, I get that.
And that's why Dana's mad at him because he went and blew something that could have been. There's expected to be a huge market behind this Brazilian guy. Oh, sorry, Cuban. I said Brazilian. This Cuban guy, right? And you just went and crushed that shit. And you crushed it in a way where you didn't really draw the people that were his fans with you. You know what I'm saying? So
he did what he had to do to get the job done. It wasn't spectacular, but
I thought it was spectacular. I thought it was a great performance, especially because I didn't expect Waldo to wrestle so much. Being a Waldo friend.
Well, we can't say that it was spectacular because the techniques weren't great. We felt that
all right, fine. Spectacular is aggressive.
We felt Robellis could have got up if he knew a little bit of what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I get why they don't say that it was boring. I don't get why Dana will like emphasize it so much and like really be upset about it. Like,
yeah, that was crazy.
Your man got fraud checked.
In the worst way.
You book him against some stand-up guys for a few while he gets better at tries to work on his game, and it's just
book him with someone who's actually like full on stand-up.
Because what's gonna happen is if he fights another stand-up guy, a stand-up guy is gonna try to go for a takedown, and there's gonna be no test like right there in front of him.
Yep.
And maybe he could stuff some takedowns, and maybe he does have a chance in the sport. But the truth is, he got fraud checked. It's not Waldo's fault. When you put a winning bonus and a show money, how am I not gonna look for both checks?
Right.
When I can do it. I have the easy path. Why would I not do it? Yep. And now Waldo's online picking a fight. What it looked like to me, all I see is his tweets calling out Derek Lewis, Ban. He was calling out Usman.
Not no more.
Not no more. Not no more, but he's retweeting.
Not no more.
He's retweeting a fan talking about, I know why you didn't take that fight now. But I don't know, man.
Dana White called out Derek Lewis. I was chatting with him and I put that in his ear, and I'm excited he did.
I hope Dana's at least giving him a chance because he's mentioned Derek Lewis a couple times. Maybe it's Derek Lewis not accepting the fight.
Maybe.
But I find that hard to believe.
Derek Lewis will be fighting super down.
Unless Derek Lewis decides, but Derek Lewis is not in a position to do that. Like,
it's not like it matters.
You give him a main event, that's enough for him.
I don't really want the main event.
Or
Derek Lewis
maybe
is
he doesn't.
mad funny, bro, because he doesn't want to do 5-rounders. So like we know he's never gonna be a champion, right? Because he just doesn't want to fight 5-rounders. Period. That's his stance. Yeah, he's already made that decision.
It could all be a negotiation tactic. I don't want to do this. I want to do this. You pay me that, I'll do it though.
Nah, I think he just doesn't want to. Because even bro, look at the way he reacts after every one that he's won, bro.
I think he's at a point in his career where he can. Jones.
Bro, he tried to give it to this guy. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his name. Numansa, Joaquin Buckley. He tried to give Joaquin Buckley the main event, and Dana was the one that put a stop to it.
I mean, you can't. Heavier weight goes
St. Louis, and he was like, no, I can't. What do you know?
Heavier weight always goes over.
But he was trying to give it to him. He was on multiple interviews saying that. Like, that shit is hilarious to me. Stepping out of the heavyweight division, Luana Carolina pulled it off. I thought she was going to get it done a little bit better. But for me, it was still a pretty exciting fight, especially as a woman's fight.
Yeah.
Lucy Pudilova was a little sloppy. But overall, like I said, I didn't think it was a boring fight. It definitely exceeded my expectations. Or it didn't match my expectations because I was expecting a finish. I really thought Luana was going to finish it. And there was a couple moments in there where it looked good. That knee that she landed on the takedown, I don't know how Lucy survived that. That is a hard-headed woman right there.
She's not terrible. She's not terrible, but she has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, for sure.
She has a lot of work to do.
I think there's a lot of space for improvement.
The first couple fights were a bunch of decisions.
Of course, my boy Trey Ogden. Yes, it ended up in a decision. You could tell he was disappointed because he was going for that. He was going for them subs.
He was going for the finish, but it looked like a boring wrestling match to a certain extent.
I thought technique-wise he was showing.
Oh no, yeah. He showed. But that's the difference. That's the difference between it. Like with technique, you can say like, oh yeah, that he did his job. You can't say that it was boring. It wasn't boring.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the fight that much.
Yeah. I can see how someone wouldn't enjoy it, especially with the way that he had control over Loic.
Not to go all the way back, I guess just the upset and us being excited for Waldo to get those takedowns and get the victory makes it a little bit different. We can't hide the fact that we're Dominican. What can we do?
I enjoyed the hell out of the Trey Ogden fight. Miranda Maverick proved herself to be a decent fighter. I feel like, the coaching was kind of excessive. That one kind of that was the first fight where it kind of bothered me because I was like, the Apex is mad empty for you to be giving that level of direction.
Well, it should be like that every time when it's wrestling matches because they're always getting those help and it's empty.
Yeah, but
that's when
get credit to, I believe coach's name is Elliot Marshall, I believe his name. Don't quote me on that. But shout out to him because his coaching was fucking A1. That was spot on, step by step, and Miranda Maverick proved herself to be one of the best listening women in the planet.
It's always funny when you get to hear them and then you realize how they're not listening.
Right. You see that they're not listening. Like, wow. That's
I could go back to the time where DC was visibly not listening to his coaches and he was all upset about it after. Like, it's my fault.
What else do we have? Cody Gibson, Brian Kelleher.
Wow. I was shocked he got a sub. I knew he would get a finish. Didn't think it would be a sub, man.
Yeah, that one. The submission was pretty shocking.
Yeah, I saw a knockout.
But the fight itself, holy shit, the dude was dominating. Like I was like, this guy is really just kind of tossing Brian Kelleher all over the place.
Brian's.
There was a big height difference, right?
Yeah. Okay, Cody's a big
bantamweight. I thought so, because the way he was tossing that man, like there was one moment where he literally.
Every time I think of Cody, I just remember that Ultimate Fighter fight, and it's like they were not in the same weight class, bro. These guys were not in the same weight class, bro. Like, bro.
That dude is massive. For his weight class, he's outrageous. Hyder AMil and Young Lee. I don't know what Young Lee was thinking. But that man stood there and got rocked.
They said that as the Max effect, man.
Is that what it is? Is it the Max effect? Is everybody thinking that they can just stand and
not everybody, but some people are thinking like they want that highlight with knockout.
Not the way he wanted it, but he got it.
On the wrong side of it. He ended up like the highlight reel.
Yeah.
Just to engage you.
Yep, that was that. But
this was a frantic pace.
And the balls on Hyder, like
is why those other fights
kind of feel boring.
Well, right. but I started off watching like that. When you start off with one like this, then it's like you're hype or whatever. But listen, those fights were slow. This was not.
This was not slow.
And the fight.
And neither was Cody Gibson and Brian Kelleher. That's really who got to start.
The fight card got picking up, but this one right here was like that might have been fight of the night for me.
That shit was outrageous. The way that they listen, that standing and banging was outrageous. I was saying we got to give a lot of credit to Hyder, because right before that happened, he got caught with a crazy hook.
Oh no, he
almost put him out.
He was losing the frantic pace exchange.
He was losing the fight.
He was losing that exchange at that moment, like when they were going, like them going crazy. He was the one. He was just engaging at that point, but he ended up max at that.
He put it all on the line.
Hey.
Before we go in that direction, though, I do want to take a second and step into the boxing world, right? Because obviously we did the best thing that was possible, because we bought into the boxing card literally with the last 3 fights. That's all we saw was just the last 3 fights. And the last 3 fights were the best fight in the whole boxing card, period. Like, Lucas Batty with that knockout. Now, let's not pretend that it was MMA. It was not as exciting as that.
Well, I know he was jumping right away.
That was the first fight that we saw.
That's the only fight I paid attention to.
After that was Serrano's and Paul. But
Serrano's was just fast.
Serrano's was just super fast. Like we really spent more time watching nonsense.
There was a fight before that we watched a little bit of, and I just wasn't paying attention to it.
Probably when I went to Walk Buddy.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think because I remember I switched it to the boxing, then I went to Walk Buddy. So probably when I was outside, I saw a different fight. I only saw those 3 fights, and what Lucas Batty did to H2O was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was vicious. That was easily the knockout of the night.
That was
easily the knockout of the night. It's not UFC this time. Sorry.
That dude slept him.
Easily.
Completely slept him. They did the whole camera off the center of the ring.
Oh, man.
For like 3 to 4 minutes.
How about the ref not letting him enjoy his moment?
Yo, the ref, I don't know why the ref interrupted that moment. That was crazy.
I think he just knew it was bad for one. And
even if that's the case, you're supposed to attend to the fighter that's dying, bro. Why are you bothering the one that's celebrating?
Well, he already had
somebody
called.
else can
he had already called for that.
It don't matter. Go over there, bro. You never in the UFC. You never see the ref leave the man downside, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't let a man down
like that. You're right about that, but like
you can't leave a man down.
I kind of understand why he was panicked or whatever. Like why he would make a mistake. I'm not saying he was right.
Nah, I understand the adrenaline, the moment, why he made the mistake, but that was a huge mistake. You got to go to the man that's down.
That knockout was vicious and like.
He caught him twice, and the third swing almost caught him. It missed. Just
somebody who has never been knocked out before go down like that. Never been
knocked out to go down like that. I mean, neither one of them have been knocked out.
No,
but for him to go out like
that,
that,
boxers, but
I don't know if he recovers, bro. As a fighter, that's a tough place to recover from, bro. To be flat-faced like that.
No. It just.
If it was a standard TKO, a quick knockout.
Psychologically, I can see what you're saying, but physically, you just got to take the time.
Yeah, he's gonna need a lot of time. Psychologically,
psychologically, 100%. That is.
Yep. Because that was a.
Every time you blink in there, you're gonna be thinking about what happened last time.
Sorry to sidetrack for a second, but I just needed to go somewhere where there was amazing technique being displayed because that whole fight was really great from the H2O side, and that was a real Max Effect type fight, bro. Because H2O was crushing him that whole fight. And then the 6th round, turns around and just dusts him. On the other hand of the technique scale, we have the absolute buffoonery that was Bill Algeo versus Do Choi. I can't even begin to explain how frustrated I was watching this fight, bro. Like, I was screaming at the screen the whole 15 minutes. Even while they were in the corner, I was screaming at this man. Because it doesn't make sense. Bill Algeo has the potential to be such a great fighter. And he makes the wildest choices.
Think you feel about
the absolute wildest choices.
You feel about him how I feel about Michael Chandler.
This is worse. At least Michael Chandler became champion.
And Yoel Romero to a certain extent too.
You all fought champions. This is way worse. Bill Algeo is... I need to get an interview with Bill Algeo to get a better understanding as to like, yo, bro, what is going through your mind when you're making these choices, bro?
I don't think that interview is going well, bro. I think you'll be back in a fight game. I don't think the interview is going well.
I'll be respectful with it. I don't think I'm being disrespectful right now. I'm genuinely confused, bro. You have the potential to be one of the best fighters in featherweight. And every time you're in the ring, you do some shit that just makes... Like, it doesn't... I just don't... Like, the man already had your neck from every possible submission option available, and you got out of it. Why would you go back down there again? It was insanity.
I don't know. He wanted to prove you wrong about ring rust.
Listen, ring rust still stands. Bill Algeo lost the fight more than Do Choi won the fight. Although, I kind of want to walk that back a little bit because Do Choi did show up, bro. He showed up immensely well. He showed up very well. Even with ring rust, he showed up very, very well. And again, the ring rust thing is a little bit iffy on this one because he did have a previous fight.
Took some shots too. It wasn't like...
It was a back and forth exchange until it wasn't.
Was not a boring fight by any means.
Not by any means. Not by any means.
But after that fight, before that,
this is the fight where he broke. I think he broke Bill Algeo's orbital socket. I didn't actually get a chance to look at it. Not that I didn't get a chance. I forgot to look into that.
It's just a reaction.
But the way that he reacted, that is one thing I give credit to Bill Algeo for. That is one like I said, I have nothing but praise for Bill Algeo and questions, bro, because I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it.
If you don't like him, you wouldn't care that much.
Like, right, like, it's just like, I don't get it. But Bill Algeo took the TKO punch he took was something that was pinpoint accurate, right? Like that was just a masterfully landed punch, and I believed instantly that he might have broken his eye socket, right? Just because the way that he went down, and for as tough as Bellagio is, that punch was just something. It did damage in a way that you just go down from. And so I definitely need to look into that, and I do wish well recovery if that does happen to be the case. If it's not the case, still hell of a punch by Do Ho Choi to end that fight. What were your thoughts?
I mean, live, I was like, did he just quit? Because the punch landed clean, and he was hurt, but like, he was moving. He was there.
He was not even. It wasn't even like he was wobbly, bro. Like, he was really like. Yo,
that's why when you said that, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Although there's fighters who have continued.
Yeah.
But
like we said that night, very few. We could probably name like 5.
It's hard to be so critical when you're not in there. So.
Yeah, that wasn't a Ryan Garcia quit. So for anybody who saw
I
that
don't think
fight,
Ryan Garcia quit either. I think Ryan
Garcia
Garcia tried to have a poker face and it just went out.
It backfired heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think personally, a liver shot does not hurt as much as that shot did. But a liver shot will land way more often.
Hard to say.
What I'm saying? So it's hard to say because no one's really going to keep testing this
hard
orbital
to say
strike.
Plus with a tough weight cut. Yeah. With that tough weight cut, it makes it all worse right there. I don't know. So it's hard to say.
Cody Durden and Bruno Silva. I don't even remember this fight.
I remember I was going for Bruno and Cody started taking over.
Oh, all I remember, that's right. This is the fight where all I bet was finish. So it didn't matter who got it done. So I was just like yelling in both directions, just finish the fight.
And
so I actually don't remember this.
Bruno got a little comeback win, knockout.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That was the uppercut, right?
Damn, don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I just remember I'm like, yeah, he got it done. But as a pick, you don't really.
Yeah,
feel
that was the uppercut. I remember I was so shocked.
I didn't feel that confident even to win because I was going for Bruno to win and he was losing the fight. He just got the knockout.
He got that. Yeah, it was a crazy.
One of those situations where he made the mistake, and at least Silva capitalized on it.
Your interesting pick situation here because you had rooted for Kurt Holobaugh.
Yeah, I thought Kurt would win.
But you were watching the fight, and even though he got the win, you were kind of stunned that he got the win.
I kind of thought he lost that first round. I thought Kanan.
Yeah, Kanan. We decided on Kanan.
We decided on Kanan. Oh,
he'll call us if we're wrong.
Oh man. Oh man. Well, I thought he stole that first round, and second round was Kurt's, but the third round I also thought was Kanan's, and
I remember being completely torn on that fight.
But I did pick Kurt, so I wasn't bad with it.
You got your win. But I remember being completely torn on that fight because it just seemed like it was going. It was kind of sloppy first. Like it didn't feel like it was super technique heavy, but it was very back and forth. It was very, very high paced back and forth. I wouldn't say frantic, but it was high paced.
It was a good fight.
Yeah, I did. I guess at the end of it, I did feel like it was leaning more towards Kurt Holobaugh.
Once they said it was a unanimous decision, I was like, damn, they're going to give it to Kurt.
You felt it immediately. Mm-hmm. Yep, I know that one. That's how I felt with Miranda Maverick and Deanna. Damn, I forgot. Deanna. Ooh.
That was.
Dione Barbosa. That's why I was messing it up. Dione Barbosa. Yeah, because as soon as they said unanimous decision, I was like, ooh, Miranda Maverick got this W so smoothly. But it was also pretty clear watching the fight. It wasn't really up for question.
Yeah.
Steve Garcia. I was telling you about Steve Garcia last week. So you tell the people what you saw with Steve Garcia. Because I've been trying to tell people. Steve Garcia.
Destroyed them, bro.
Listen.
He destroyed them. I mean, he didn't leave the night undefeated, though. He took an L at the end. He tried to swing at the double champion. Double champion hit him with a walk-off knockout.
Walk-off, yep.
But it wasn't as impressive as what Steve Garcia did in the octagon fighting.
Didn't somebody? I feel like somebody in the night called out Chael.
Chael. I didn't see that. Somebody called out Chael.
I feel like somebody that night called out Chael. I don't remember who it was.
Do they not realize the guy is juiced to the gills?
I don't remember who it was, but I think they were, obviously I'm pretty sure they were joking, but, oh no, I think it was freaking Thomas Peterson, bro. Thomas Peterson, at the end of his fight, he called out Chael. I don't even know why that happened, and no one even talked about it. It was that bad of a call out.
Yeah, that's not to be
yeah, I don't know why he made that joke. But yeah, Steve Garcia performed exactly as I expected him to. I don't remember if I said I was excited for the fight last week, because my excitement for Steve Garcia built over the week even more, because I really started thinking about, like, yo, this could really be an explosive knockout for Steve Garcia. Like, Sung Woo Choi is very, very fast. Like, he moves very quick.
I wasn't familiar with him.
But I just felt like the opportunities were going to be there, and then we saw, not only were they there, but Steve was making them. He was just opening up opportunities for himself. It was actually pretty crazy. And he ate a couple of big shots going into it too.
I mean, I want to see him tested somewhere else, though, someone else. But
who do you think? He's featherweight. Who do you feel like?
It's hard to say. Featherweight. That was an impressive knockout. I don't want to start looking all the way up. Come on, bro. But
featherweight is a tough decision. It's a tough division.
He's not ready for Peyton.
Peyton Talbot? That'd be an interesting fight. That would be a real good matchup.
I don't think they would want to kill their hype train like that.
Nah, because Steve Garcia is a silent hype train. They could build him up very easily. They just haven't done so yet. And Peyton's doing a great job of building himself right now.
Maybe they both.
Yeah, so it's not worth clashing them yet, but it would be a great clash.
Is Steve Garcia undefeated?
No, I think he has one loss. What's your record, Steven Bois?
Because if he was undefeated, I would understand, like, keeping them away from each other just so.
15-5.
We got 5 losses.
Yeah. I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know why Peyton will take it.
Those all UFC.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a fight that Peyton will be interested in. UFC. Why you don't think he'd be interested in? Because he's not undefeated? Just because he's definitely lower than him.
Well, I think he's undefeated in the UFC, but has 5 losses.
That's good. So that means he's undefeated recently. Because
that's UFC. I don't think Ontiveros is UFC.
So it's one of those things where who did Peyton just call out? I feel like I remember him calling someone out.
Who did he call out? I don't remember. Who he called out.
Oh, I know who he called out. I just can't remember the name, but I know exactly who it is. Like, fight-wise, I can't remember his name. Let's not do this.
We'll come back to that.
I'm not gonna remember his name right now.
In the meantime,
but yeah, he's not.
It's time to give praise to Virna Jandiroba, because she did everything I said she was gonna do in the last episode.
I'll give you the praise. You called it.
Second round submission was the most likely thing to happen. Because Amanda Lemos, we're never going to take away the fact that she's a vet. She's great. She's a champ. You know what I'm saying? She is she's one of the best.
She's never
she's never been a champ, but you know what I mean? That's someone that, again, thinking about, did we say Amanda Lemos last time? I don't think we did.
No, she's not a BMF.
No?
We can't do that.
No?
I don't think so.
I think the war she's been in.
The name doesn't ring a bell enough, man.
That's possible. Within the fight community, I think it does, but not outside.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not outside.
But like.
But Virna Jandiroba, her game plan came in and she did exactly there were no real scary moments for her. She even gave the thumbs up when she was in the guillotine.
You could say the submission attempts were a little scary, but she definitely handled it.
Nah, I don't even think so, because like I said, the biggest one was the guillotine, and that one was nothing. She had the thumbs up.
She was in there with a pro, bro. You never know.
Yeah.
She could have been playing a trap and all of that, and it's still scary. Especially from a viewer's perspective. It looked like...
I was not nervous for even a split second. Virna was working in there.
Props to you, your pick, but I definitely thought Amanda will either knock her out or win by points.
Now, the real conversation becomes, right? After what you saw with our incredible Virna, right? Who does she fight next?
I have no idea. Who you thinking?
Wait, where's I was trying to just get to
who
the
standings.
standings.
Who you thinking? Because
I think she fights for the title next.
No, that's not that wasn't a.
Absolutely.
That wasn't a number one contenders fight.
Absolutely. Like she was ranked number 5. No, she was ranked number 6, I believe, right? And she went up against Amanda Lemos, who was ranked number 3. So there's really no way you're telling me she's not up, unless we want to see her against. Where the hell is this girl? Oh, should I pass it? It's over here. Bugging.
Yeah.
There we go. So
you're saying that
you want to like she literally.
So she's gonna
She's
leapfrog.
3 now. She leapfrogs Jan. We know Tatiana's not gonna fight this year.
Why?
Zhang Weili.
Why is she not fighting this year?
Because Tatiana's on a bad streak of not fighting often, bro. I don't see her fighting this year. I don't.
I thought she'd be next in line.
I don't. Zhang Weili already beat Jan. The only 2 options are Tatiana and Virna at this point. So, with Virna moving up, that's pretty much a guaranteed title shot. Like I said, the only person in her way is Tatiana, and I don't think Tatiana fights this year.
And you think
I don't know why.
You think she has a chance against Weili?
Oh my God, I think she chokes Weili out.
I think Weili puts her out.
Bro, I think she... Listen. I'm so high on Virna right now, bro. Virna will choke out Andrade. Virna will choke out Yan Janan. I don't know about Tatiana.
Rose.
Tatiana will always be interesting.
And Rose, of course.
I don't know about Rose.
Oh, let's go. She got some respect. She gets some
I don't know
respect.
about Rose.
She gets some respect.
I don't know about Rose. Her footwork it looks so hard to take down. But then again, Virna's so that'd actually be a really amazing matchup. Right? That would be an amazing matchup.
It could be boring too.
No, because Virna's not a boring wrestler. She's Marab style, where she's always pushing forward.
Rose gets a little boring when she's safe. And I don't know if that's like...
But I don't think she'll ever be safe.
Or when she gets up on the rounds, she goes. But that's when it...
But that's if it gets... Look, again, we have not seen Virna pass 3 rounds. If I correct myself and you could look it up, I'm pretty sure we haven't seen her pass 2 rounds because her loss was in the 2nd round.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? So like she's not somebody she's gonna be the fighter who puts herself in that position to Rose is either gonna catch a clean KO, right? Because we already saw she got a little wobbled with a couple of shots from Lemos. I think Lemos didn't focus on staying on the feet enough. If she would have focused more on that, because when she was on the ground, she tried to counter submit a couple times, and I think she should have just gotten the hell up. But if she would have landed a few more strikes, there might have been some more opportunity there. I think Rose, being a little faster, younger, might be able to maneuver that a little better.
She won't play the game either.
But I still think Virna beats her just because of the Virna, like I said, bro, what she's doing with her game plan, her grappling, there's really nobody else in the division doing that. The only other person, like I said, is Tatiana Suarez that I could think of with the wrestling we know her for, but I don't even think she'd be able to beat Virna because she doesn't fight enough. With the amount of fights Virna has, she's ready. It's on go.
We'll see.
I think Virna is
to be
due for a title shot probably within the next 3 to 5 months. And I'm saying that because this year is already pretty much jam-packed. The only thing I could think of, and even this is really unrealistic, the December card, but with the rumors of Conor and Chandler being rebooked for December and them not wanting to put a champion fighter on the same card, it's tough. But that's what I would predict. December is Zhang Weili, Virna Jandiroba, or Zhang Weili, Tatiana Suarez, if Tatiana's available. But I just feel in my gut, I love Tatiana Suarez to death. You know that. It's definitely one of my UFC crushes. I have no problem admitting that. I just don't think she's fighting again this year. I just feel like she's on a very free, loose schedule.
I don't know.
So that's my take on that. What else? So ESPN released their list of greatest MMA fighters. I don't feel like we need to make a list. I just kind of wanted to not really address their list, because I didn't entirely look it over, but just the thought after last week when you were like, yo, ESPN is kind of trash, to then hear DC.
I mean, it's not that it's trash. It's just it's just disconnected.
I say what the people mean.
Disconnected.
To say ESPN is disconnected, right? And then DC kind of repeated your sentiments on Good Guy, Bad Guy this week. So it's interesting because when I look at the idea of the ESPN list, right, and you think about, okay, so if so many of the fans feel like these people are disconnected, who are the people making these decisions? And what are they getting right, right? Like, I do know that they gave Jon Jones number one. I do believe that DC is on the list of greatest fighters, but not on the list of best in the 21st century, which is really weird because it's like he only exists in the 21st century, so
yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't really work.
I don't know what list he was on, but I did see the ESPN list. He was not in the top 10.
Yeah, the top 10 one is the 21st century. Yeah. So top 10 fighters in the 21st century, he's not on that. But he is on the top 100 best MMA fighters of all time, which doesn't make sense because he's from the 21st century. So
it can, but
it doesn't really, unless the thought is DC would have been number 11, right, on the top 10 list, but I believe somebody from the top 10 list is not in the top 100.
Oh.
So it didn't really, it was kind of backwards. So I understand where he's coming from with that perspective. For me, I just feel like,
but they do it. They do it often. They
miss often.
They'll contradict themselves with the two different lists. They'll just be off. Like,
it's such a crazy dynamic.
Some of it is like easy. I think it's been very easy to put Jon Jones as number one every time. Like rinse and repeat. But
that's not rinse and repeat. Hold on. Even as a not Jon Jones big fan, you can't take away this man has dominated.
No. It's for a reason. Jon Jones. Jon Jones is my goal.
I know that's your. I know that's your guy. So I'm just saying, like, even as someone who's counter the Jon Jones argument, as
somebody that's challenging their knowledge, I'm saying
that's an easy pick.
Exactly. How difficult is it for you to get that right? Like, yeah. Now, the crazy thing would have been if they were like, oh, Conor McGregor. We would have all went crazy. You know what I mean? But like
we did when they gave. Because
we're talking about fighter. We're talking about fighter. We're not talking about. We're not talking about a Forbes. We're not talking about a Forbes list. We're talking about the actual fighter.
Forbes list is hilarious.
Well, yeah, Conor is the best when it comes to making money. He's not the best fighter.
Fighters list. Let's take a quick gander at it. All right, so the top men's fighters of the 21st century are number one, Jon Jones. Number two, Georges St. Pierre. So far, so good.
How difficult was that?
Number three, Anderson Silva. That's kind of nuts.
That's where I would
have put Demetrius Johnson.
That's where I would have put Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse, undeniably. Khabib at number 5. I'm not a big fan of that pick, but I also respect it 100%.
I get it. I get it. He's
definitely respected. Fedor Emelianenko. I always hate trying to say his last name. Your boy Couture, number 7. Chuck Liddell at number 8. BJ Penn at number 9. Kamaru Usman at number 10.
Question: Do you have BJ Penn over Jose Aldo?
Absolutely not. So,
you know what I mean? Like,
but
BJ was accomplishing things that were never seen before back then. But you also have to put everything into perspective.
Yeah, it's cool to see them reach back, and this is what I'm gonna say to that, right? This list I don't feel like is bad. I respect it, and I think it's okay for people to have different opinions on what should and shouldn't be there. Right? This list is not. It's not like they threw Sean O'Malley, fucking. Who else is really popular right now? What's the wrestling kid that's super popular right now?
Wrestling kid that's super popular?
Yeah, that Jon Jones went to the locker room right before his fight. Undefeated.
You're killing me. Jon Jones went to his locker room.
People watching will know what we're talking about. But like they didn't just throw random names up there. Like, okay, even crazier name, right? For me, anybody putting Conor McGregor in their top 10 of this type of list is wrong. Right? You can be a fan, but putting Conor McGregor in the top 10 of your list with all the options available, you're flat out wrong. I mean, you can be a fan. He can be your absolute favorite of all time. Putting him in a top 10 list,
trying to compare him
crazy.
Where he would stand.
Like even just looking at this list that we don't necessarily agree with. Right?
I wouldn't be mad.
Where would you put Conor?
Conor would probably fall keep going.
Who would you replace? So definitely Definitely not replacing top 5.
There's
right?
people that I don't believe should be there and are.
I think Anderson Silva shouldn't be top 5, but he would still be top 10.
Yes, I think he might be 5, to be honest.
Okay.
I think Khabib is more like 6.
Right. So Fedor.
I got Jose Aldo up there somewhere.
Fedor goes in for sure. Right? Kamaru Usman comes out, that's guaranteed. That's already right. So Kamaru Usman, Jose Aldo, even exchange, we're done there. Right? Boom. Now we got Fedor, even without changing the order of their list, just putting Aldo instead of Usman. Right? Who do you take out to put McGregor? Chuck Liddell? BJ Penn?
You have to keep strolling.
That's what I'm saying. That's the top 10. Taking Kamaru Usman out.
Usman's better than him.
Like, we already took Usman out because we put Aldo in. So in that top 10, who do you really replace Conor McGregor with?
I have a better question. Tyron Woodley or Conor McGregor?
I think Conor McGregor. Yeah. Conor McGregor goes higher on the list than Tyrone, for sure.
I might lean towards Tyron Woodley.
What?
Title defenses.
What? Nah. No way. Absolutely not. That's crazy. I respect it because of the title defense argument.
Well, this is another thing. This is another thing. At this point, Conor's about to have like another. Probably his next 4 or 5 fights.
He's about to have a whole nother run at the title.
I said 4 or 5. The next 2 fights will be at welterweight, which would mean they would have fought at the same weight class for a lot. Who's better? Who would have fought? If they would have fought,
McGregor would have beat Woodley every time.
So
Woodley doesn't throw punches and bunches.
when they were, I understand what you're saying.
That's it. McGregor's getting through him every time, bro. There's no way around that.
It would have been a wrestling exchange. You would have got him in, but I'm telling you, maybe Conor in greatness is above him.
For sure.
But when you put them head to head,
if you want to say head to head, they're closer matched.
Do you remember when Conor was sizing him up, acting tough? Woodley didn't realize that he was just acting normal. When he later on noticed that Conor was doing all of that stuff, he started calling him out, and Conor went ghost for a minute after that.
Yeah, but that's a whole different conversation.
You don't size somebody up and act like you about to do something, talking about because he had his phone up or something during the whole exchange with him and Nate, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it's like you're ready
you wanted to boil up more from there?
It's like
you
ready.
don't have any value in fighting Tyron Woodley.
What are you talking about? Woodley had the belt. Woodley had the belt. The value in there is he would have an immediate. He went from a time where people wouldn't believe he was at a point where nobody believed he deserved the title shot yet. He needed a victory in the weight class to then get a title shot because everybody wanted to fight him anyways. And Woodley was like, "Oh, I'll fight you any day. You can skip the line."
I don't know. I don't remember it that cleanly, but
I do. It was a backstage.
I still stand by the idea that Conor beats Woodley for sure.
Maybe in greatness.
Conor doesn't go in the top 10.
Maybe in greatness you put him above him because of what he's done.
Even Khabib for me is tough to put in the top 10 because when I think about it, I know this is going to be a wild argument for people, right?
As long as we're seeing BJ Penn at 8, yeah, he's absolutely there.
For me, if we're looking at Khabib for the top 10, I'm sorry, but I genuinely believe.
Let's name some snubs right now.
No, I genuinely believe his pupil already surpassed him. And when you say his pupil, that is a very loose term because you have to remember, Islam stepped to the side while Khabib was chasing the title. It's not like he was just suddenly brought up by Khabib. They were brought by the same trainer. Mm-hmm. Right? We're talking Kenan Ryu. You know what I'm saying? So Islam has already performed better than Khabib did his whole career. In my opinion. For sure. So if we're going to say Khabib should be up there, then I'm saying replace Khabib with Islam already.
What do you mean by your opinion? In your opinion, by his opponents or domination?
Opponents, domination, defenses.
Not by domination. We've never seen Khabib bloodied up like we've seen.
The reason that I say domination, right? And I respect the idea. I respect what you're saying as far as Khabib's game plan. For whatever reason, nobody could figure out how to get through it, right? Islam has adapted to a new generation, and I believe most of the people fighting now would get through Khabib's fighting style.
I mean,
and that is
we
why
questioned that back then. It's hard to say that.
But that is, we're living it though, because we're looking at Islam, right? And we're looking at somebody who we already say is a better striker than Khabib was, and he's a better striker because he had to adapt to the new style of people.
One of the things
their secret's out.
But one of the other difference between them that we're forgetting is one doesn't have a untested chin. Islam went out before. We've seen Islam get hurt after it. Like I said, we could say that he has better stand-up, but we never seen Khabib battered like that.
Khabib hasn't used his stand-up.
He struggled to take somebody down before. We've seen this before. We still never seen him get battered. We
see Islam get battered because he stays in the fight. And again, like I said, the reason he has to do that now is because the secret's already been exposed. They train together. They both, either one would have came in, whoever came in first was going to go with the wrestling only strategy. And it was going to work.
Or Khabib is a better wrestler than him. And
I don't know. The fact, just off the fact that his coach was dad, that one is like, it's a respected, tough sell to believe that Khabib's dad was going to push Islam before Khabib. That's why I respect their friendship so heavily.
Islam has made it top 15. I won't say 10. 15?
Islam makes top 15? I'm not arguing for Islam to be top 10. Khabib gets top 15. Wow. That's what I'm saying. Wow. I'm saying Islam replaces Khabib, and Khabib is moved down to wherever you were going to put Islam.
Where does Max stand in all this?
Max is top 20.
I think Max is top 15.
I could probably say top 15 once I really sit with it and start organizing people. But as for sure, confidently, I'll say top 20.
I'll probably, in the top 15 area, the person that'll probably be the most controversial that I would say is Dom Cruz.
That would be super controversial. Because if we're looking at top 15, look at how quick I make that a crazy argument. Dustin, Justin, Max, Volk. That's already top 14.
You said
Dustin, Justin, Max, Volk. Not in any specific order.
These guys are better than Dominic Cruz?
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier is better than Dominic Cruz?
I think so.
In legacy, greatness?
I think so.
No, this is worse than the Tracy comment.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
What's your argument for Dominic Cruz? Go for it.
Championships. How long he went undefeated for. His first look at loss other than Strikeforce when he got choked out by Favors, which he avenged, obviously. It was just his injuries. His injuries is what stopped him. He lost the title because of injuries.
You think he lost to Cody Garbrandt because of injuries?
No.
Oh,
I'm talking about the first.
Okay.
You mean when he came back, an older man, and got back to the belt? That just shows how great he is. He was basically retired because of injuries. When his first run with the title, didn't lose. He had to basically go away for leg injuries. And then he came back, and you talk about ring rust.
My whole thing always is, and this is why I immediately thought of the comeback more than the beginning, right? Because the beginning run, yes, you're right, 100% undefeated, no question, right? But also against who? That's the problem with some of the legacy.
Demetrius
Johnson
was one of the Favors, obviously.
Favors was in the second run, not the first.
After he lost to him in the UFC, he lost to him in Strikeforce. He fought him for the title in the UFC.
It was the second run, not the first.
No, he's fought him 3 times.
Oh, okay.
He's 2-1 against him.
Okay. So that's 2. And his title defense was what, 6?
I don't know that he got to 6 straight.
Pretty sure he got
But
6.
I'm sure he has at least 6, 7 altogether.
All right, so fine. Dominic Cruz he's
at least top 20, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure top 20. No argument there.
And there's no way that Dustin's ahead of him. There's no way. Dustin's a great fighter, but we're not doing that, bro.
I think Dustin had way tougher competition. Way tougher competition. That matters.
It matters.
100% matters.
It matters, but if you rinse and repeat, it's the same. These guys are all fighting the same kind of guys.
No, they're not, because Dominic Cruz, you can't name somebody who is in the top 10 that we listed off that Dominic Cruz fought.
even if Justin, wait, what was the question?
Who's in the top 10 that Dominic Cruz fought?
In the top 10?
Yeah.
Demetrius. That's it. But there's not
Right,
there's not a lot of small guys
It's
there.
just Demetrius. But in
He
the
never
Dustin
got
argument,
to fight Aldo, right?
in the Dustin argument,
He wanted the Aldo fight.
you got Khabib, swap him out with Islam, right? Who else was top 10 that?
But who has
Dustin
Khabib?
fought?
Who has Khabib fought in that list? Who has Islam fought in that list? Nobody.
Nah, Khabib. Oh, Khabib was supposed to fight George.
He didn't fight
That
nobody.
didn't happen.
He wasn't interested.
That's why my argument for Khabib is, bro. Like,
he wasn't interested.
Islam is a
GSP
better
was
example,
interested
bro.
in Khabib. That's what he wanted. He wanted Khabib. He didn't want to go fight
That shit
Michael
was crazy.
Bisping.
That shit was crazy. All right, so we weren't gonna make a list, but we ended up making a list anyway. So moving on to the upcoming event, which I am, listen, if you couldn't already tell, I'm mad excited for, right? Because this is gonna be a wild card, and like, it's gonna start off a little bit slow. There's only really one card that one fight that I'm super excited for in the early prelims. And that is Gregory Rodriguez versus CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan. I think this fight is going to be crazy because both these guys are powerful strikers. They love to stand and bang. Gregory Rodriguez is the same person that I was referencing a couple weeks back when Mayra Bueno Silva got split and open. And we've seen a lot of cuts recently. Somebody was right with them gloves, huh? There's been a lot more cuts. Either that or a lot more people are using elbows. I'm going to look into that. But Gregory Rodriguez's cut was with the old gloves, and like when I tell you my man had a split in the center of his face, there's really no other way to describe it. It was a split in the center of his face.
Still won the fight though.
And they let him finish the fight, and he won.
I don't think he'll win this one though, man. I think the speed advantage kills him.
Yeah, I think the speed advantage is going to kill him. I think the toughness is going to make it so that it's
that always gives him a chance.
This is one of the few underdog style bets that I think is going to be a crazy good call. Whatever the over line is. If it's over 1.5, get it. If it's over 2.5, get it. Yeah. I feel like because of what you just said and because of Gregory's toughness, this fight will go the distance. Unless Gregory knocks out CLD, which is a possibility, it's just on the lower end for me. I think this fight goes the distance. It's one of those fights that everybody expects to finish quick, and it just shocks everybody and makes it all the way. Again, don't take my betting advice. I'm just shooting some thoughts out there and speaking out loud. The next fight that I think is not going to be super exciting, but I'm just kind of interested in seeing because of our boy Waldo, or who already beat Lucas Brzeski and KO'd him in the funniest floppy way. I just really want to see him come back. I want to see what it looks like for him to come back into the fight. So that's why I'm excited to see him fight. And he's going up against Mick Parkin, who I could really not say much about. So I think it's just going to be a really sloppy heavyweight fight. But if Lucas is who he was claimed to be before Waldo stopped him, this should be a very interesting fight. And the odds favor Mick Parkin, so I might learn something about Mick Parkin this week that I didn't know.
Oh boy.
Colin
Bro,
how do you say this? Lauren? Colin Lauren. Because he's from Ireland, I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Colin Loughran. That feels right. Colin Loughran versus Ramon Tavares.
Ramon Tavares he's a tough one.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing about Colin. So
Ramon Tavares
this sounds like it's gonna be a banger. Then if you're saying Ramon is a fighter and Colin is, because Colin comes from the school of thought of Patty, and no, not Patty, of I want to say he's in the Conor McGregor space.
McGregor, I think.
Yeah, he's in the Conor McGregor space. He didn't do great in his tough appearance. But remember, that whole season was kind of a weird setup because it was vets versus newcomers.
The vets just destroyed
that shit was
the young
a terrible.
Guys. They destroyed the young guys.
Like, it was wild. It was wild. But I think Colin Loughran is really going to be able to stand and bang.
I just don't see this going the distance.
There you go. Don't think it's going the distance. And the odd makers don't think that Ramon Tavares has a chance. So.
What do you mean? Plus 185. 180 is not bad.
It's not terrible, but it is leading to Colin. And Colin is
well, huh? I believe Roman just coming off a loss, and he's a little wild, but it's tough.
Okay. Well, that should be an exciting fight, and that is that's already into the regular prelims, right? Those last two. Molly Meatball McCann, which kind of sucks because she slimmed down so much. We can't really call her Meatball anymore.
You don't lose your nickname.
I feel like we got to give her a different meat name. Pause. Molly, yeah, I can't think of anything. So Meatball McCann versus Bruna Brazil. And this fight, as much hype as I just had over Molly McCann, is going to be boring as hell. Bruna Brazil is a great fighter, great submission artist, but she sets such a slow pace. And I think Molly might not. Well, actually, I think she might actually engage it pretty heavily and fall into a trap.
She's been very involved in the submission game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She might fall into a trap thinking she can out-submit Bruna. So, but it could still end up being a very boring fight.
Or they could just end up standing and banging because they both respect each other.
But if that happens, then it'll be a lot of circling the ring. Mm-hmm. I think somebody dropped a statistic, and of course, I'm going to shout out We Want Picks because I'm pretty sure that's who I was watching. But I'm pretty sure like Bruna's strikes per minute is like less than three or something like that. So like less than 3 significant strikes per minute is kind of crazy. So if they end up just staying on the feet because they're both scared to take it to the floor, guaranteed boring fight. If they take it to the floor, it could be kind of sloppy because Molly will start. I think Molly will panic a little bit because Bruna really is like that when it comes to grappling. And then it'll be a lot of just like scrambling and trying to get back to the feet, as opposed to back and forth submission attempts, which for most people they find that boring. So ahead of time you might not find that super entertaining. But Molly McCann is always really fun to watch from the start to the finish because she celebrates heavy when she wins, celebrates heavy when she loses, and always comes into the ring with so much energy.
Yep.
This is the fight that's overnight for them too. This is the one that's happening in England, bro. So the card for them is starting at like 10 o'clock at night. That's crazy. Yeah, the main event I think is scheduled for like 2 a.m. their time, which is nuts. All right, so with that said, Molly McCann will probably come in with even more energy to work and keep that crowd awake because that's just the type of fighter she is. So expect that. Nathaniel Wood versus Daniel Pineda, meh. Arnold Allen versus Giga Jikadze. Listen, Arnold Allen is about to knock Giga Jikadze out.
I don't know, man.
Giga Jikadze could not put the beats on Bruce Leroy. Everyone expected him to get it done on Bruce Leroy.
Don't do that, Bruce Leroy.
No, I was 100% rooting for Bruce Leroy.
Leroy's a tough matchup for anybody.
He's a tough matchup, but I think Arnold Allen is stronger than Bruce Leroy and will stop Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, but I also feel like
if he can land those punches, he stops him.
I feel like Arnold hasn't been the same, man.
Yeah?
Hasn't been the same lately.
Okay.
Still a young man, but...
I was going to say, that's a crazy thing to say about somebody so young, bro.
Yeah, but he hasn't been the same yet. I mean, since losing to Max, was it? He got finished by right? He got finished recently.
I don't recall who he got finished.
I'm pretty sure he got finished recently, man.
Let's see. Let's take a quick gander.
Pretty sure he got finished recently, bro.
Holloway, that was a decision.
There you go. Cater?
Evliov was decision.
No,
Qatar was a KO.
He finished Cater.
Yeah.
He finished Cater.
He finished Cater, yeah. He finished
everything was decision?
Yeah.
No.
Hooker.
It was after. It would have to have been after Max. So,
Nah, he lost to Evliov by decision.
Oh no, he didn't get finished. It was
I remember that fight.
It was a decision.
And Evliov is really proven to be a beast.
Oh no, that was the decision actually that I thought was a little strange.
Yeah,
man.
You thought it was kind of
they did Arnold Allen dirty on the position.
Yeah,
they took a position from him.
Yeah, that's right.
But still, like he's just.
I'm still going Arnold Allen.
I expected him to win that fight.
Giga Jikadze out.
I would hope so.
Out.
I would hope so.
Out. I think he's going to outclass him in the striking.
Giga's
not much of a wrestler, and he's knocking him out. Muhammad Mokaev versus Manel Kape. Manel Kape is one of the loudest mouth fighters in the UFC right now, giving stiff competition to Kevin Holland. Because Kevin Holland, anybody could get it. Manel Kape is very targeted. right? And so
I think they're both very hated in the MMA community too.
I don't think they hate it. I think Muhammad is loved. Everybody's rooting for him to get a title fight, but he's boring.
Not all of it. No. It's just more like from the yapping. Muhammad's very active on Twitter.
Is he?
Yeah. He responds to like people saying bad things about him.
That's hilarious. So he'd be stirring the pot.
I think he responded to me once talking about like the opponents he was getting, and I'm like, you're completely misreading this, bro. Like, I like you as a fighter, and I want you to fight somebody real.
The Jamal Hill?
Not exactly. Not exactly. No. Hell no, not even close. Sorry. Not as close, because I can see exactly his point.
Yeah.
When he in his response, but
right now the odds
for me it was just I wanted him to get up to the top sooner.
Yeah.
Because
I think he should be due for a title fight soon. It's just also his division is a little bit tied up.
This is by far the best opponent he's ever had.
So this is going to be interesting. Manel Kape versus Muhammad Mokaev, I think, is definitely going to be an interesting fight. Although Mokaev is a very, very consistent wrestler, which is part of the problem for him getting a title shot, similar to Bilal Muhammad, similar to Merab Dvalishvili. So it may not be to everyone's liking, but I think Manel Kape is going to come in striking hot. Mokaev is going to manage to get around it, get the takedown, and it's going to be a very slow pace for him to get a sub. That's what I'm projecting. So have some fun with that. Do with that what you will.
King Green.
King Green. I hate that he changed his name. No one else has said it that I've seen, so I want to be the first to say it. I hate that he changed his name. Bobby King Green is more fun. King Bobby Green. You could have changed the way we use your nickname, and that would have been more fun. But King Green ain't it.
Boring.
He just ain't it.
Patty said that CTE right there. You changed your name.
You said that CTE, chill. King Green versus Patty, the Baddie Pimblet. Patty and Meatball Molly McCann are pretty much a duo at this point. They fight on every card together. So everything I said about Molly McCann instantly applies to Patty the Baddie. They are genuinely like the most anime comic style UFC best friends of all time. Like it's the funniest thing to witness and to enjoy. And because of that, they always bring the energy.
It's great matchmaking right now.
Yeah, Bobby King Green is incredible energy, incredible fighter, tons of fun to watch. These two have been chirping non-stop. So, great opportunity for Patty if he wins, moving on up into the top 15. If he loses, it's kind of as expected. We didn't really believe you were at the top 15 level. We all like watching you fight, but we don't believe you're there yet. And then with Bobby, hey man, you know where you stand, King. You know where you are. You are one of the coolest and most fun gatekeepers. Your shot at the belt, that last one that you almost had was it. We're past it.
I'm starting to lean towards Patty getting a sub.
Patty getting a sub?
I mean,
Patty after Bobby, what? Patty getting a sub?
Yeah, like he go back to his roots, man. He started off as a grappler. That's what he really.
That's true. That's true.
And
but
I just don't think he'll stand there and think that that's where his advantage is.
Yeah.
That'll be like
King's defense will be too good though. I think he'll be good enough. I think he'll be good enough.
That's possible, but I'm just saying that like path for victory, I just can't see him being. Like I feel like I'm disrespecting his intelligence to think that he's gonna stand on him.
Makes sense.
Even if he does stand with him, he has the intentions of going.
So again, you know that I use. You always get frustrated when I make comparisons, but it's like you should know by now, bro. They're super loose. They just make sense. But like I feel like I agree with what you're saying because I also was thinking this fight will look a lot like Ian Gary versus Michael Venom Page. Where Patty's the game plan that fans of Patty and people are expecting to see in this fight, where they're expecting to see this electric, energized fight, is not gonna happen. Patty's gonna come in, like you said.
Not if you want him to win.
He's gonna come in, get his ranking. That's what he's coming for.
Not if you want him to win.
So that's why I wasn't gonna include it as an exciting fight, but it's hard not to.
No, it's an exciting booking.
Yeah.
Tom
Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. This is a rematch.
You know my pick.
This is a I don't know your pick. Who's your pick? Blades?
I got Blades knocking him out.
Wow. Knocking him out?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I think Blades is gonna sub him.
Yeah. I don't see it.
So in this fight,
that's interesting, though.
in this fight, Curtis Blades is the true wrestler. Mm-hmm. Tom Aspinall can wrestle, but Curtis Blades is the wrestler.
He's probably the more well-rounded fighter. Well, he's viewed as the more well-rounded fighter. The only thing that we can...
I don't think he is. I think Blades is the more well-rounded fighter.
I think Aspinall is looked at as more...
I think Aspinall has the better striking. I wouldn't say way better, but not. He has the better striking. Curtis Blades is the real wrestler who gave up his wrestling because he started getting knockouts, which is why Aspinall has more subs, because Aspinall came into it as an MMA fighter and was just looking for wins anyway. Blades came in as a wrestler, got a couple subs, saw himself with knockout power, said, I don't really have to wrestle. I think in this fight, he's going to show up with a wrestling game plan. And I think that wrestling game plan is going to get him a sub.
It could be a lot of ways that it gets it, but I do see that. I do see him getting a finish, man. I see him getting a finish.
And the craziest thing is I'm saying all of that, and I'm really like I'm a big fan of Blades, but I feel like right now, and this might get a little weirdly political for a second, but this might tie into just where I stand with the U.S. as a country as a whole right now. Like I'm just in such a sad, disappointed place that I'm like, nah, man, England deserves their time to shine, bro. Like, they got 2 England champions right now. They got 2 UK champions.
One will retain.
Right? And they're both going up against non-UK, right? Like, I don't know where Bilal Muhammad is exactly from. But, like...
Pakistan.
It's going to be 2 UK fighters, right? One is defending his title against America. One is defending his title against Middle East somewhere. And
he's from Pakistan, but he...
Oh, he is Pakistan? For sure?
Like, his family is... His blood is Pakistan. Okay. He's from Illinois.
Oh, okay. So in that case, fuck the Pakistan part. You American too, nigga. And we don't want that right now. I'm sorry. Where America's at, this just ain't what's gonna help us right now. We need a quick ass kicking so that we can be reminded that things ain't well here and strive for better. And maybe that could be an argument for the other way around too. The patriotic side of it being like, yeah, we need a strong win right now to get this country back in shape, but not enough people paying attention to MMA here. So I feel like the UK deserves this, bro. I'm rooting for the UK, especially with them having to be up so goddamn late for this card, bro. That's so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. And silly, because we would have loved to watch a card that starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, there's literally no complaints in America for that. So,
facts. That's the best right there.
Yeah. I kind of spoiled a little bit and led into it, but Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. Right, you don't have to sleep when it's a 2 o'clock card, bro. You can just chill. Like, make some breakfast, have a nice little brunch, a little mimosa with the pancakes and the eggs and the bacon, you know what I'm saying? Get the day right. Then you sit down, you watch the UFC, you order some Chinese food during the special happy hour pricing because you still get the lunch special. Boom, boom, that gets there.
Imagine not even leaving the house yet and you watching Leon Edwards batter Bilal
Muhammad. Come on. And then right after that, with the money you win, you could go out to party. It's a vibe. Like, that is literally the vibe, bro.
Don't do that.
That's the vibe, bro. That's the vibe, bro.
Advice.
That's the vibe. Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad is going to be the main event of the card. Welterweight title fight. I think if you've been watching the show by now, you know where I stand. But for those who haven't, let me make it clear where I stand. I think Bilal Muhammad is an amazing fighter who is boring as hell because he hasn't figured out how to make his fights exciting.
Might have to take a nap during this segment.
I think because of how boring Bilal Muhammad is as a fighter, the action-packed pace that Leon Edwards brings, and already having seen him defend against some of the best wrestlers in the division, right? Like, it's a very... I saw this on Instagram somewhere, and it was a great infographic type thing, but it was basically like, we have, on one hand, we have the champion who has proven himself to be able to defend takedowns against some of the best, including Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman. On the other hand, we have a phenomenal wrestler who, for some crazy reason, seemed to have struggled with a broken Gilbert Burns.
He didn't struggle. He just didn't.
He is a phenomenal wrestler. If you're telling me he's better than Kamaru, who beat Gilbert, he's better than Kobe, who hasn't fought Gilbert.
Yeah, I don't think that math is supposed to work because he beat Gilbert standing up. He didn't go for too much wrestling. And same with Usman. Usman beat him mostly standing up. They didn't really go to that game plan. So like it just, as opposed
but
to,
they did it because they knew what type of threat it was.
As opposed to we know he's not going to try to stand up with Leon too long.
But Kamaru didn't stand with Leon very long either.
Absolutely, he tried to keep it. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So,
but I'm not saying he's going to be successful.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
very much toward Leon. The battering.
I'm just saying
was
the math is not going to work.
I don't think either of these guys is excited. Like on again other details and info you can find online. I'm pretty sure that in the last 8 fights for both of these guys, in their last 8 fights, they have 1 finish. So, like, there's really
when did Bilal finish somebody?
I don't even remember who it was.
Bilal hasn't even knocked anyone down. Nah, he probably has a submission.
I think he has a sub. Yeah, 1 win by submission and 5 by knockout, technically.
Wowzers.
But in the last 8 fights, nothing.
Wowzers.
Right. So, I think that the fight is still going to be interesting, and this is also one of those fights where, kind of giving the credit aside to what you were saying as far as Bilal, right? There's a potential you can get the sub. And because of that potential, I feel similar to the previous fight where everybody's probably expecting this to go to decision. The odds are going to be crazy juice for it to not. Bet the not, because why not? Like literally, if it goes to decision, fantastic. The odds were going to be so juiced, you could probably bet $1 and win 100. You know what I'm saying? Like
not that much, but yeah. It's gonna be
so be on the lookout for that for sure. Any other thoughts this week?
I mean, that was a good card that started off slow, and it's probably gonna be the same way this week too. The undercard, I mean, the prelims is not really.
The early prelims are gonna be slow for sure. There's only, like I said, only
I
one
mean,
fight.
I don't want to say anything definitively like that. Like it's gonna be slow.
It's gonna be slow.
It's possibly gonna be slow. It might be crazy. You never know, man. Don't do that.
It's gonna be slow. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be slow.
Don't do that.
So I have to do it. I have to bring it up.
What do we bring it up?
Jake Paul.
Oh yeah.
Made the wild decision to FaceTime Alex Pereira and call him out while in the ring. Now, respectfully, right, and there's a big part of me that hopes I'm completely wrong about what I'm about to say.
Let's hear this.
Right, but respectfully, I don't think Alex Pereira knows enough English to know what the fuck was going on in that call, bro. Mm-hmm. Like,
although he had somebody that was translating it, but he wasn't.
But even in real time, I don't think it was making sense. I think it all clicked together after they hung up, and they were able to translate the whole situation and really get it. And so we don't know what it was being said. So don't take him saying, "Yeah, Dana's going to agree to it" with any type of realism at all. No. But what is wrong with Jake Paul, bro? Like, much credit to him for his win over Mike Perry. Right, much credit. But I don't know if there's any marketable genius to calling out Alex Pereira when you know it's probably not going to happen, and you addressed why it's not going to happen, which takes away any of the fan interest in the idea that Alex is scared. Right, like you took that away by addressing the issue being Dana.
Not really. It's genius in the sense that you're calling Dana's bluff. You're really just. You're trying to really pick a fight with Dana.
But Dana hasn't bluffed about anything.
No. Dana has made it clear that he wants his fighters to stay away from him and boxing him. His fighters, under his banner. Yeah. He does not want them boxing Jake. That's who Jorge wanted to box. Right. And Dana blocked that.
Dana was like, absolutely not.
No. And you're calling his bluff by picking somebody you know he'll bet for Alex. So I
I understand.
It's like a gambler knowing a gambler's language.
But I understand the idea that
He's never gonna sign the contract, but he would want to push Dana enough to speak on it, speak his name on it, and if it gets to that point, he's still not gonna
any
sign the
UFC fighter
contract.
he calls out is gonna get the media to ask Dana about it. He's gonna get called out.
But which one makes him look like the biggest and baddest?
None of them.
No, that
none of them, because hear me out, because the fan perspective of it, right? Like as fans, the fans don't give a shit about the business side of it, right? So all they really care about is Alex scared to fight Jake? Was Ngannou scared to fight Jones, right? With the Ngannou versus Jones thing, it's easy to sell the idea that one is scared to fight the other, and that's what kept the fans fighting for a long time, right? But in the media business side of it, like people on the business level fully understood why that fight was never going to happen, right? Just business-wise.
Yeah.
So with the Jake Paul and Pereira call-out, where I'm saying he dropped the ball in his call-out is by acknowledging Dana White being the problem. Yeah. By acknowledging that, you now put the business in front of the fans and said, hey, even if Alex Pereira says yes, like Alex Pereira said yes on the call.
I see what you're saying. What you're saying is you want to get the biggest pop to get that draw from Dana.
But you already blew it. But
the thing is, maybe that's how Dana's calling his bluff, because it's like, you wouldn't have mentioned me if you thought this was possible.
Right.
You wouldn't have mentioned, you wouldn't want it to be, you wouldn't say something that would be stopped, other than to just be tough.
Right. And that's what I mean. And that's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean. He just wanted to like pat himself in the back. I beat another midget, because that's what he did. He fought another welterweight. He beat him.
You can't call Mike Perry a midget, bro. That's wrong, bro. The correct term is dwarf.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That is the correct term, okay? Midget is the incorrect term.
That's crazy. I mean, we see this all day. There's plenty of people walking around, and you stand next to them, you're like, no, they would not, no commission would ever let us fight.
Right.
And that's just how it works.
That's one of the things I love about what Conor did when he called out Jake Paul after the win. Is like, yo, this is the most backwards, ridiculous thing. Like looking at Jake Paul versus Mike Perry in the ring was really kind of awkward. It was like, oh wait, is this really happening? Because like when you see them at the weigh-ins or the face-offs, like the way people stand, they hunch their backs, they cross their knees, all these different things, you can't really get a lot of times you do, but you can't always get a good assessment of height.
No, I knew it was going to be a big size advantage, big speed advantage. The thing is,
I didn't think there was much a big speed advantage.
No,
I think
100%.
that Mike Perry gassed out super quick because of the weight of the gloves. But it's a lot heavier to fight with gloves than it is bare knuckle.
You also got to remember that this man is fastest and quick and fastest and best at his weight. He competed in the UFC at 170. Yeah. He's been competing at 185 to just get these opponents that he's been able to get. But even in that, he's always been the smaller guy. Mm-hmm. Now you got him putting on weight to try to get to 200 and only getting 198. There's no way he's at his fastest.
Yeah, that's true. So Jake Paul would have been faster. Yeah. Yeah. Either way, like
when you put the names together, you talk about toughness. You don't want to count Perry out because Perry has a chance. But no, it was a bad matchup.
I've always been a fan of what Jake Paul was doing, right? Because I always liked the idea that no matter who he's fighting, he's bringing attention back to boxing. Right, he's bringing people to it, and for me,
I think he's showing people that like this is easier than y'all think it is. Y'all make
that's what's happening now. But originally, it was like, we know you're not fighting the greatest people, but at least you're bringing the next generation of kids that everybody complains aren't going outside. This, that. You're giving them another sport outlet to follow, right? Because you're one of the biggest kids being followed, and that's fantastic. But the issue has now become everybody you fight is now elderly. Right? You're not fighting people who are actually competition, so you're not continuing to show that path for the young kids that you were inspiring before. Look at how great you can continue to be. You're just fighting washed-up fighters, right? So maybe that'll play a big, important part in his legacy in 10, 20 years when you look on paper and you're like, oh man, you beat this person, and if you don't actually watch the fight, it's just something you can ramble off, right? But
you got to believe that was in his blueprint. This is something he clearly thought of.
Yeah, they thought about
it. It didn't just happen. It don't just happen every single fight by mistake.
Well, I, of
He's
course,
attacking names.
like everybody else, 100% hope Dana White lets Alex Pereira loose on him, bro. Like, this is like that the visual in my mind is like a man standing, right, and being harassed by a whole group of people, and then he's like, fine. And he just opens his lifts his hand and like taps his watch, and a giant demon comes out from behind him and just slaughters everything. Like, that's what I see with Dana unleashing Pereira on Jake Paul, bro. Like, there's just
it's almost not even worth it.
I thought Pereira only had 2 or 3 fights in boxing. It's the other way. Izzy only had 2 or 3 fights, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Pereira had 13 wins in boxing.
11 wins on 13 fights.
Oh, 11 wins on 13 fights. All right, so he has 11 wins in 13 fights. Jake, you have 11 wins in 11 fights.
No, he has less. I think he has 8 or 9 in 10.
Right, because he lost to Tommy Fury. So you have about as many fights as he has. Like, this is not a situation where you're taking someone who is fought in the UFC their whole life and never fought boxing. You're taking someone who is dominated kickboxing, did well in boxing, and is currently in every argument for the greatest fighter of all time to step into the UFC. And rightfully so. And this is the man you want to fight?
I don't believe it.
There's no way. You're not selling me on that gimmick, bro.
I just don't believe it.
That was a crazy idea to try to sell people on that nonsense. Bad call. Completely bad call.
I mean, I don't think it was a bad call. I just think it's not realistic for anybody that's really paying attention. I don't see it.
Well, let's wrap the show up on that point. If you've been tuning in, as you know, we always ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow Coach Mike at SFBigMike. You can follow me at WhatUpVega. And as always, thanks for tuning in. This is the Main Event Podcast. Peace.